Now, welcome back to the Baseball Hut. Now, I was not expecting to do a video today because the Mets were off today. And I had the video of Francisco Lindor for Sunday, and I was going to keep it there, and I was going to come back in a couple of days, but there's sort of, news that has sort of happened the last little bit. Now, before we get to this video, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. A lot of people coming on here wanting to hear my rather professional rants, logical musings about what's going on with this ball club of ours. But, I've been sort of talking a lot about how this team offensively is a struggle to watch. I mean, I look at this as a fan. I am not associated with I'm not associated with Barstool. I'm not associated with John Boy. It doesn't matter what side of the walls they came from with that channel. But I am not associated with any of these people. I don't want to be involved in any kind of corporation, although I am on Google, on YouTube. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. I do my own thing, my own channel, and I speak for myself as a Mets fan. So you don't ever have to worry about watching my show saying, well, he speaks for the Mets. I don't speak for anybody but me. And I think a lot of people are coming to agree with me about certain things with this team. I just want to see the Mets win. That's all I care about. But I get very frustrated when I don't see the team hit. And this has gone on for years now. The struggle to score runs, the struggle to sort of move runners over, the struggle when they strike out. You get tired of watching it. And this is something that has happened to what happened before the previous ownership that was seen. That ownership here is great. Steve Cohen is great. His wife is terrific. They're amazing, spectacular, terrific. They're great. They're doing a great job. They really connected very closely with us Met fans, and I think we all know that. So we know their intentions are well placed. They're not people that don't engage with the Met fans, unlike the Wilpons. The Wilpons didn't do that. But some of the same kind of attitudes you see in this organization still kind of around. What do I mean by that? Now you're probably hoping that I'm going to talk about I was thinking about this today, about this organizational attitude that, well, if things don't work out well, we're the New York Mets. This sort of online attitude of woe is me. The Mets can't do anything right. I want to point out some hardware. If you've been paying attention to the New York Mets since 2011, they have 2 guys that won batting titles, 2 guys that have won 3 Cy Young Awards, 2 guys that have won Rookie of the Year, a team that went to the World Series, that been to the playoffs at least 3 times in that period of time. And they've done great things here and won World Series. But it's not this attitude of, a player goes to the Mets and he's ruined for life. It doesn't work like that. When you have Pete Alonso, who's hit the most home runs since 2019 and driven the most runs since 2019, that's not a player getting ruined. I saw that comment from somebody that's not a Mets fan, but that is sort of the attitude and the sort of institutional attitude in the organization that needs to stop. And that's what I mean. This is why I'm getting very uptight about what I see with Lindor. It's sort of he's sort of shrugging his shoulders where he feels like he can't win. The problem isn't with Lindor that he's not trying, that he's not playing hard. He's playing hard. But with him, it's like he's trying too hard. And I'm going to say this again. He's not the elite player that he was when he was with Cleveland. It doesn't mean that he's not a good player. I have not said, and I don't think, I've seen different comments that the Mets should just sit him for the rest of the season or just not play him. He needs a day off. Okay? He needs a scheduled day off where he doesn't have to worry about playing. Today is a travel day. He should have had Sunday off. He needs a day off on this road trip. He needs to have a day off in Pittsburgh, in my opinion. The Mets are going to be off on Monday. Bucks, sit him on Sunday. Give him a day off in Pittsburgh. And again, this attitude of where the Mets, things don't turn out right. That has to stop. Okay? The Mets have to get this attitude, and the Met employees have to get rid of that nasty, woe is me attitude that you hear about it online. Get rid of it. That is a big problem, and it's still skulking around, and you can feel it. As a fan, I can feel it. In the ballpark, you can feel it. On TV, you can feel it. On listening to them on the radio, you can feel it. That has to go. Now today, the Mets, they didn't announce it yet, but they designated for assignment Tomas Nido. I was going through his numbers for his career, and they're terrible. 213 batting average career-wise, 245 on-base percentage. Out of here. Now, I didn't have a problem with the Mets holding on to him for a couple more weeks, because I don't like Vogelback. He has to go too. But Nido, he did not have a good year the first month or two with the bat. And obviously, with Alvarez having emerged now as an everyday player and as on the verge of sort of becoming like a star and a mainstay here, there's no place for Nido. He had to go. He's the odd man out. Expect there to be a trade by the end of the week, if not by tomorrow. I would expect that maybe a team like the Padres could be a team that would be interested in him. The Padres don't have a catcher. Well, they signed Gary Sanchez. Like I said, they don't have a catcher. So I would expect that Nido will probably go in some kind of trade. I was reading from Andy Martino, who blocked me on my other account. On my account on the baseball hut, but he didn't block me on the other account. And he has posted things that the Mets were close to trading Nido, but that kind of fell through. There's nothing imminent yet, but other reporters are saying that he's going to get moved, which makes sense. I would expect the Padres at the top of that list, because like I said, they don't have a catcher, And but Nido was a guy that he did his best. He was an organizational guy. He played with the Mets for a few years. The Mets had signed him to a 2-year deal. I think the Mets were kind of hoping they were sort of planning this idea that Alvarez would be here next year, but Alvarez played so well, Nido became expendable. And Omar Narvaez is a better player than Nido. He's a better offensive player. He has power, and he's good defensively. The Mets aren't losing anything defensively with either player, with Alvarez and Narvaez here. So there was no place to play for either one of them. So Daniel Vogelback got a reprieve. Didn't he? He got a reprieve. But his numbers are terrible too, by the way. His numbers are about as bad as you could possibly get. For a guy batting in the middle of your order, 320 slugging percentage. You bat 5th through 7. You can't be batting with a slugging percentage of 320. That's pathetic. It's pathetic. But his future with this team, I know he's a spare part player. He's a role player. He's supposed to hit right-handed pitching. At some point, they're going to have to make a decision on him and on Tommy Pham. Now, Tommy Pham has done a good job. He's hit the ball out of the ballpark. So, Tommy is not really going anywhere, because Tommy's been in these spots before, and he's succeeded. And he's a 5th outfielder. So, his role is less important than Vogelback. But to go back quickly about this institutional attitude that's in the Mets organization, that has to change. And there is leadership in that dugout with the manager. But is there enough leadership in the front office? And is there enough leadership on the field? That's what we have to find out. The Mets aren't going to get they're not going to get the kind of leadership they need from the starting pitchers. And Scherzer's too old, Verlander's too old, and he hasn't been here long enough. These guys are outsiders, okay? Where is the leadership on this team? Okay? Because obviously Lindor is not a leader. No offense. The fact that he is, you can see the frustration building. Who's going up to him, putting their arm around him, say, look, we're going to get through this. Just do the best you can. Play hard. Don't let the frustration get to you to the boiling point. So there doesn't seem to be any kind of who's the leader of the Mets? Who is it? Who is the leader of this team? That's been a thing that's been missing off of this team, really since David Wright couldn't play on a regular basis. Who was the leader on this Mets team? Who is a guy that's a veteran guy that's going to come into the clubhouse? He's going to say to the guys, let's go, let's do this, let's get on the field. Don't worry about what somebody like the great baseball head says about you on YouTube. Just do what you got to do, and we'll get through it. Who is that guy on this Mets team? Is it Mark Canha? Probably not, because he's just not good enough. Is it Starling Marte? Well, he's struggled. I don't know if it's him. Is it Brandon Nimmo? I don't know. I don't know how. You don't know what the dynamic is in that clubhouse. And obviously there's an issue here that goes beyond just the performance on the field. Because now you're seeing I've been seeing some very weird kind of interactions with the players. I mean, this whole thing with Pete, where he said which I kind of thought was amusing at the time, but the more I thought about it, he shouldn't have been doing that. Where he said the F word on TV, and then he was doing this sort of obscene gesture, running around, coming around hitting a home run. It's like that, but that didn't last long because Buck put an end to that. But what player is saying, Buck, Pete, you shouldn't be doing that? There's nobody, as far as I know, there's nobody in that clubhouse that's a strong enough personality to take reins of this thing. So that could be an issue here. Now, that's the one thing about a veteran team that Jason Kipnis had said, that because you have all these veteran players, you have to have somebody in that, and they all said, well, they all know what they're doing. There's got to be somebody in that clubhouse that everybody looks to and says, he's our leader, and that's it. I don't know who that is. And certainly not Lindor at this rate. That's very, people sort of been poo-pooing this leadership situation here and there. I've been reading some comments. People are sort of saying that leadership's BS. It's not BS. Because sometimes you need a strong personality in the clubhouse that has that sort of gravitas, that's a winner, that'll make your team better just by being there. We kind of saw it a little bit with Scherzer, but then Scherzer got hurt last year, and then he didn't perform well. So it can't be a pitcher. It's got to be an everyday player. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. What do you think about Nita? We're going to talk a lot as we get closer to the deadline. We're going to talk more about the front office and really the general manager. I've sort of been hands off a little bit, and just sort of trying to figure out where they're going to go as we get close to August 1st. August 1st, 6 p.m. is the deadline, which is great because I will have live streams, and I'll have a live stream that day leading into that great and wonderful trading deadline. It'd be interesting to see what the Mets do and if they do anything. But we'll see. Well, let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.